Hi, this is part 3 of the Fall Reset and Realignment video for Tammy, and I'm Spiritual Psychic Cynthia Killian, of course, also known as Psychic Cynthia. And if you need more info later about my programs, you need to write me about this video, have questions about this technique. My website is cynthiakillian.com. Killian spelled like million, but with the K. No, I'm not related to the beer people. Okay, so I need to jump in. I don't have much time here, and I want to get this reading done for Tammy. So we've already laid out all the cards, and I've gone over, some of the pre-processes. I'm reading on the Ascended Masters, the Doreen Virtue deck. You could read on any deck, and I read on many different decks, although often I prefer the tarot or my own spirit cards that Kara Joy and I created together. So in position number 1, which we've already talked about, so you need to watch the first 2 videos. They're really short if you haven't seen them yet, so you'll understand. And I have my cheat sheet here. So if you're in any of my programs, you should print this cheat sheet. That will help you. Actually, there's 2 pages to it. I mean, really, that first one I showed you is enough. So in position number 1 for you, Tammy, we have the Freedom card and Hina. Remember, we're not going to pay too much attention to these words. We'll use them a little bit, incorporate them, but mostly I'm reading the pictures and using my own third eye and heart chakra energy. So this is what you are needing to let go of to move forward in this fall. And this may sound strange. Actually, it's what you're needing to let go of or to resolve. In this case, it may be more of a resolution. So I'm not saying you need to let go of your freedom, but this is something you need to address, Tammy, so that you can move forward. And I feel for you, it's really about your resolve to be free. And I know that you had moved recently, semi-recently, maybe in the last couple of years, you had left one area to move to a new geographic area, major move. And that was a real act of independence in some ways. And maybe not in other ways, but yes, it took a huge major leap. So I feel that somehow you're still resolving the issues of the time when you moved, and that's just something you need to get closure on. Maybe just seeing that you made this decision to move. It was your decision ultimately. And sometimes we just need to give ourselves a moment to own that before we can move forward. So that's what I'm getting on that. I do need to move on, so we won't spend too much time on that. This is representing you now, or perhaps how you need to be. This is Yogananda, says choose peace. And, I feel that you're on a spiritual journey and that you've been placed where you're at. I know you say it's quite difficult and that it's hard to stay positive, but this is exactly why you've been placed there. You've been placed there in a place with great nature and not the support system you want in terms of people at all, but Spirit has placed you in this situation in your own soul, with your own soul's consent, so that you could grow. And in your loneliness and in your struggle, you are learning to tap into new parts of yourselves, new talents, new abilities, and also just the sense of connection. So that is there for you. Moving right along to number 3, if that's right. Yes, that's right. This is what you need to focus on in this fall, what your harvest will be. And I believe the best focus for you is to detach from drama, not just your own, but other people's, just like the card says, actually. And Pallas Athena carries a sword. She's a very strong woman, goddess energy. She does many things, but one of the things she does is stand up for righteous causes. So maybe, in this fall, you're needing to stand up for yourself in some way or others around you. Is there a special cause that perhaps you have started on, or just a special project you feel very strongly about, very passionate? Like, for example, your photography. That's just one example, and there could be others. But this is something that really stirs the soul. And so what it's saying is to go forward with that and get some kind of completion, whatever you can, by the end of this season. And that will also help lift you out of your doldrums by focusing on that. What are you going to do today? And psychically speaking, I really think that this does at least partly relate to your photography And I think you should consider publishing a book of your photography, even if it is only for you or a few family members. I'll leave that up to you. It's totally your call. And maybe there's some other things that you feel passionate about. Maybe you just feel passionate about standing your ground and not letting others walk over you. Maybe you've started in that process, but you're still learning about boundaries. And, if that's the case, I do sense that you're a bit of an impasse. So I would refer you to Dr. Judith Orloff's website, ORLOFF. I don't know what the website is, but that's her name. Just type that into Google or type in empath Judith Orloff, and you'll find a very great resource for people like you who are sensitive to energies and get some help drawing boundaries. And I'll actually be doing some more videos on that later, but for now I haven't, so go to Dr. Judith's site first. We're going to move along to card number 4 here. 4 is always your right-hand man. These are your helpers. And here we have Baba G. What a story. You should Google Baba G. Babaji. Extraordinary. The word on there is yoga. And I think yoga could be a wonderful helper for anybody. But, you have choose peace and yoga and just lots of spiritual blues and purples in this reading. So that quiet contemplation, Tammy, taking time to be at peace, seeking out nature, this is a time where you are, in a way, to be sequestered, almost like a yogi or a nun. And that is your ally. And you do have many spiritual allies, actually, spirit guides. So it may not be that you have a lot of physical helpers there with you, but you do have many in spirit, so open to them. And seriously, they will help you. Miracles can happen if you just remember to ask. And also, I do feel your spiritual friends and connections, like myself and others, will be your greatest allies during this season ahead and this time of challenge. And speaking of challenge, we need to go to position number 5, which is the left-hand path, what crosses you, what challenges you. And here, it says drink more water, and it has the African goddess Oshun. Sometimes the words on the cards are pretty straightforward, so maybe you do need to drink more water. I think everybody needs to drink more water, just about. But all that aside, my sense is that part of the challenge is you're living in a beautiful environment, but a drier environment. You are in your spiritual desert, is what I'm getting off this card, even though there is no desert on this card. You can see that. So where am I getting that? From my heart, from my third eye, from all my chakras, which are alive and reading. And that's how you guys got to read all chakras, your whole aura, not just like one chakra or just eyes on the card. No, be in the vibe, be in spirit when you read. So Tammy, you're in this spiritual desert, and that is your challenge. Maybe you can't get the foods you want. Maybe you don't have the friendships you once had. I really feel all these cards, and just what I'm picking up psychically, in a lot of ways, you're cut off from your normal sources of supply, so you have to dig deeper. When you're in the desert, you dig deeper to the sources of spiritual water. You go very deep inside. And remember to feed yourself each day with spiritual meditations, with inspiring activities, whether that's being in nature or listening to uplifting music or talks, being around uplifting people. When you're in the desert, you have to seek out the manna. Okay? Speaking of manna, we go straight up to card number 6, which is always above 5. In the reading, this is the final outcome, or I think of it as a dominant energy pattern, what you're needing here. And you're needing to take charge, to be like Moses, and to really use your faith. So that is important for you to use your words to command. And then finally, we end with the feminine aspect of Kuan Yin, whose name I can't pronounce. And it says to see the other's point of view. That's how you're going to build yourself up in the winter. So stop fighting the people around you. Start trying to understand and seeing where they're coming from, even if you don't agree. I have to end now. I'm running out of memory on my machine here, my video recorder. But Tammy, I'll post this on the group, and let me know if you have any more questions about the reading. And hopefully this has shown you all a little bit about how it's done. Many blessings, cosmic blessings. Namaste.